The final shape is just around the corner, and today I wanted to bring you the best Warlock build that will synergize with Prismatic perfectly on day one, with all the starter aspects and fragments so you can destroy the legendary campaign solo. Bungie has confirmed that you'll be able to unlock Prismatic in the very first mission itself, along with a starter kit of aspects and fragments. You will be able to unlock more aspects and fragments as you progress through the legendary campaign, but I wanted to bring you a foolproof build that will let you use the new subclass straight off the bat and dominate the campaign with it. I'm actually super excited about the Warlock Prismatic setup because it will make one of the best existing builds even better. With this build, we make our stasis turret setup even better because now we have access to the full power of Devour, allowing us to be invincible and making our turret spam even better, so the entire battlefield will be completely frozen. So let's get into it. So the very first aspects that we unlock are going to be Bleak Watcher and Feed the Void. Bleak Watcher lets you hold down your grenade, any grenade, and convert it into a stasis turret, which shoots at enemies, slows them down, and eventually freezes them. Our second aspect is Feed the Void, whereby any ability kill now grants us Devour, and our Devour is improved to give us double the benefits. Typically Devour gives you 100 HP heal, but with Feed the Void it becomes 200 HP. Not only that, but the amount of grenade energy you regenerate on kills from Devour is now doubled. So against the strongest enemies, you can get back 40% of your grenade from a single kill. And the crazy thing is that any ability damage, including shattering frozen targets, is going to now trigger Feed the Void and give us back so much grenade energy. This is absolutely huge because we can spam stasis turrets at a faster rate than ever before now, because we don't just rely on kills, but any shatter whilst Devour is active is going to refund some grenade energy. The best Warlock exotic to use with this starting setup in my eyes are the osmiomancy gloves. The osmiomancy gloves give us a second charge of cold snap, which is a starting grenade and absolutely the grenade you want to run, as well as providing us with some more benefits. Cold snaps now have much better tracking, traveling 35% further, and cold snaps now give back more grenade energy upon hitting or freezing an enemy. This allows us to spam much more turrets. So if you have 2 grenade charges, you want to deploy a turret first, and then you want to spam your cold snap grenade a couple of times, and you'll have 2 charges again very quickly thanks to osmiomancy gloves. Keep repeating this cycle again and again, and you'll have multiple turrets up all at once. We start off with 5 fragments, which will synergize really well with the build and dictate what melee, what super, and what grenade we run. We have Facet of Dawn, which will give you radiant when using your melee. We run Penumbral Blast over Pocket Singularity for our starting melee, because Penumbral Blast gives us another way of freezing enemies. Remember, the more enemies that we shatter from being frozen, the more Devour we're going to proc. We have Facet of Purpose, whereby picking up an Orb of Power is going to give you an elemental buff based on your super element. So we actually want to start off by running Cataclysm over Winter's Wrath. This means whenever we pick up an Orb of Power, we're going to get a Void Overshield on top, which is always nice for survivability. Facet of Protection is going to give us more damage reduction, which will help us survive even further. Facet of Hope, whereby when we have an elemental buff, we'll gain even more class ability regeneration, allowing us to use our class ability more often. I'd highly recommend using Phoenix Dive as your class ability so that whenever you dive, you instantly heal yourself a nice 60 HP thanks to Cure. Healing Rift is nice but has a longer cooldown and feels much more stationary. I prefer Phoenix Dive to Healing Rift as it's just a much more mobile ability, allowing you to run and gun more effectively. And then we have Facet of Ruin, whereby defeating stasis crystals or frozen targets is going to cause a better shatter effect, meaning now our shatter is going to cause even more damage, which is critical as freezing enemies is central to the build. So in terms of your weapons, my number 1 pick is actually Buried Bloodline, which provides Devour on kills, and if you have the Catalyst, will also weaken enemies. This is just another way of kickstarting Devour, but this time with our weapon, and Weaken this season is going to be even more potent through our artifact mods. With Void Hegemony, whenever we kill a weakened enemy, we'll gain a Void Overshield, and with Expanding Abyss, we'll deal more damage against weakened enemies from Void sources. My prediction is that Weaken may get buffed from 15% to 30% increased damage to match something like Tractor Cannon, which could be pretty crazy. For your kinetic slot, my recommendation is going to be the Deliverance with Chill Clip and Demolitionist. Slowing and freezing enemies is a really strong form of crowd control, especially against enemies like Tormentors, and I'm sure it's going to be super useful against a lot of the Witness's new enemy types we're going to be facing. Chill Clip on slower firing fusion rifles is actually getting buffed and will now only take 2 shots to proc the freeze, and so you're going to get the improved shatter damage from Facet of Ruin faster. We also have an artifact mod, Creeping Chill, whereby stasis final blows against slowed or frozen enemies will release a further burst of slow. You might then be able to freeze subsequent nearby enemies in just one fusion rifle shot, which is actually insane. For heavy, you'll want to have Falling Guillotine with Frenzy and Surrounded for ad clear, as we have a ton of sword-based artifact mods as well this season. And then you'll also want Edge Transit in your back pocket for boss encounters with something like Bait and Switch and Envious Assassin. In terms of armor mods, I'd recommend running one Void Siphon so buried bloodline kills generate more orbs. Our gloves have 3 impact induction mods, which means our Penumbral Blast will reduce grenade cooldown. Run the relevant resistance mods on your chest piece, then on your boots I ran 2 innovation and 1 absolution mod to maximize the grenade energy we get back whenever we pick up an orb of power. Finally on my bond I ran 1 Reaper, so after we use Phoenix Dive for the next 10 seconds we can generate an orb with a weapon kill, 1 Bomber for more grenade regeneration, and 1 special ammo finisher so that we can generate more buried bloodline ammo when required. In terms of stats, your number 1 priority is 100 resilience for that damage reduction, and then in close second is a high discipline stat, ideally 100 so you can spam your turrets even more. So there you have it, my starter Prismatic Warlock build for day 1 of the final shape that will help you annihilate the legendary campaign solo. If you enjoyed what I talked about, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny builds as we get into final shape. I'm Mr. On It, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.